Hi, Dalman Ross here. Welcome back to my calisthenics and fitness channel, Me Fit, You Fit. I'm 69 now, and I feature calisthenics and fitness routines I've come to love as I have progressed in my fitness and health over the last 5 years. Back at the start of the decade, I was a fat, old, out-of-shape guy in his mid-60s with advanced heart disease. I changed my life and lost 50 pounds by that Christmas. No drugs, all natural. Mostly body weight only training, bicycling and walking. It's January 5th, 2025, the first Sunday of the new year, and I'm stoked to have pushed out 80 decline push-ups in my first push-up set this year. That's a decisive new record to follow on the 76 I did 2 weeks ago, the Sunday before Christmas and my birthday. That video is around here somewhere as well. I want to talk a bit about this style of push-up. Once you can do lots and lots of regular old push-ups with good form and range of motion, it makes sense to introduce harder variants. You do that to make your training pay off more in lots of ways. Time efficiency, muscle growth, endurance, joint health, and mobility. These decline push-ups are just the ticket. I do them nowadays mostly on Sundays. On Wednesdays, I usually do advanced pike and a few handstand push-ups. Other days I do other things, including lots of pull-ups with different grips, 2 or 3 days a week. You can use any offset you like for the declines. Use something that gives you a challenge and that you can advance with. You don't have to be able to do 80 reps, but you do want to do enough to be able to refine your form and technique over many weeks. Film yourself. You don't have to show anybody the videos, but you do want to track your progress in a log and keep a critical eye on your form. That's how you keep consistent and reduce the risk of injuring yourself. Elbows should not be flared wide. Arms and hands should be where it's comfortable, probably about shoulder width apart for most people, and with hands planted about mid-chest to be kind to your shoulder joints. Go all the way down, go all the way back up. None of those mamby-pamby 3/4 push-ups, guys. Your consistent form and good technique matter so much more than raw numbers. Form is what will impress experienced gymnasts the most. Let me give you an idea of progress, at least for me. At the start of 2020, I could sort of do 10 push-ups. I say sort of because my form was terrible. I was not going all the way down. I'm not entirely sure I could have done so had I tried. I didn't work hard on my form until early December that year. When I did, my rep numbers dropped by about 2/3. That's how much you're lying to yourself if you don't stay rigorous with your form. In January 2020, I did push-ups on 8 separate days. I did 123 push-ups that entire first month, and I only did single sets per day. And that's how I did it until the end of January the following year. By early December 2020, I'd gotten up to over 80 reps in the one set. But after mid-December that year, I started working on range of motion and going down further. My first try with deeper push-ups on December 18th, 2020, I only did 28 reps. By this time, I was almost down to my ideal weight, which I reached on Christmas Eve, my 65th birthday. My first push-up video on this channel is from December 12th, 2020, with the bad form I spoke of. Here it is. When I watch that, it's hard not to be embarrassed at the lousy technique and my still spindly muscles. Let me know in the comments here what you think. In any case, bad form and single sets and a day aside, in all of 2020 I managed to get out 2,351 push-ups. The numbers started to climb rapidly again once I had stopped cheating and started paying attention to form. And my musculature started to fill in slowly over time until today. In February 2021, I started doing multiple sets in a day, typically 5 sets at first. After a couple of months, my rep numbers had climbed such that I reduced a typical day's set number to 4. By the end of 2021, I'd gotten up to 4 sets of 36 classic push-ups in a day. It's good form. My 2021 total, with the much improved form, was 4,673. I I wanted 3 sets of 100 inside a day. I would get there eventually, but it would take well over another year. In all of 2022, I did 7,639 classic push-ups. By the last day of April 2023, I finally hit those vaunted sets of 100 or more classic. I actually did 341 in the 3 sets that day. That's when I decided to switch to declines. I'd been watching lots of videos by experienced calisthenics athletes, and I was convinced declines were my next step in my journey. They were. You can see most of the videos yourself, as I've saved many to a public playlist here called Calisthenics and Tips. I made the switch to declines in early May of 2023. At first, I used a 12.5 centimeter offset, which is about 5.5 inches. I only did 2 sets most days for the first few months, since those were much more demanding. I switched to 3 sets in mid-September, when my best first set was 88 reps. A month later, I hit 101 on that first set, and 225 in the 3. I pressed on. By the end of 2023, I'd slugged out 9,649 push-ups, almost 5,000 of them being declines. I now wanted 2 sets of 100 declines in a day. It took until the second week of February 2024 to get there at that initial offset. A third set was for 56, also a record at the time. With that goal of 2 sets of 100 declines reached, I switched to the current offset of 29.5 centimeters, or 11.6 inches, a wee bit higher than the length of a standard American sheet of paper. Now I was vying for 2 sets of 100 reps at the more challenging offset. I did third sets most weeks too, although I cut decline push-ups back to once per week, since I was now doing pike push-ups and handstand work weekly as well. Finally, on August 11th, 2024, I whipped out those 2 sets of 100 declines at the more challenging offset, and another 25 in a third set. Wow! So, what would come next? Well, still deeper range of motion, that's what. I started using parallettes for that full chest-to-floor action with declines. Elbows contracted well past 90 degrees. That was brutal. Recall that with hand-on-floor declines, you can't normally touch your chest to the floor because your head, usually your nose, gets there first and stops you. But by using parallettes, which you can improvise from dumbbells as I'm doing here, you can get that deeper ROM. That's what you want. I started these in mid-September 2024. Well, 2024 ended last week. I pushed through 7,958 push-ups, all declines, pikes, or handstand ones, but for a smattering 59 of the classic variety. And today, well, you can see the new number, 80. I'll go do my second set now. Your like and subscription to the channel will continue to inspire me. And maybe I can inspire you as well. Thanks very much for watching. Bye-bye.